Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So today is March the 23rd of 2020, and I wanted to talk today about why your seeds may not be germinating. So a question that I've gotten already, and a comment that I've gotten is, okay, you planted your seeds, you're waiting for them to germinate, and nothing happens. So in this video, I want to talk about a few reasons why that may be. One of the reasons could be, it's rare, but sometimes you do get a bad pack of seeds where the germination rate on them is just low. Or it's an older pack of seeds and the seeds are just past their germination time to germinate. Another thing that can be is some seeds need light to germinate. Strawberry seeds do, petunias, salvia, begonias, just to name a few. They need light to germinate. So if you cover them with soil, what will actually happen is they won't get the light that they need to germinate. So you want to do what they call surface sowing, and you want to put the seeds on top of the surface of your seed starting mix, and you want to press them into the soil, and you want to take a spray bottle and just mist over the top of them. And then you want to put them where they will receive light, whether you're using, like overhead lighting, or you're putting them in a greenhouse. Some people germinate their seeds on a windowsill. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind. Seeds that need light or that are surface sown, you don't want to cover them, because if you do, they might not come up for you. Coleus are like that. They need light to germinate. Now, another thing that can happen is if you put your seeds down too deep. Some seeds need to only go about like 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch deep. And if you put those down too deep, like these seedlings down here, like these winged everlasting seedlings down here, they only need a very fine coating over the seeds. I believe it's like 1/8 of an inch. So what I do when I sow my seeds like that is I put a little bit of seed starting mix on, but I make sure that I can still see a little bit of the seed, because I don't want to get too much soil over it, or they're not going to germinate for me. Now, some plants, like your sage plants, the seeds need darkness to germinate, and if the seeds get light, they're not probably going to germinate for you. Pansy seeds are the same way. They tell you to cover the flats of your pansy seeds with like newspaper or something to give the seeds the darkness that they need to germinate. So that's another thing that you want to keep in mind on some seeds, is that they do need darkness to germinate. Now, a few other things that can happen is your seed starting mix dries out while the seeds are germinating. And if your seed starting mix dries out while your seeds are germinating and they've already sprouted, most likely the seedling will not come up and it will die because it didn't get enough moisture. And of course, it put its roots out from the seed, and there was no moisture there for it, so unfortunately it died. It didn't make it. Now, you can have an issue with fungus gnat larvae, and they will eat your seedling roots off, and your seeds won't germinate. And what fungus gnat larva is, you'll see like little gnats flying around. Now, there is a predatory insect that sort of looks like a fungus gnat, but it's a little different. I do have those in my greenhouse, and they help to control things, so you can tell those apart from the fungus gnat adults. But what happens with the fungus gnat larva, it's like this little whitish clear worm that goes into the soil, and they feed on the roots of your seedlings, even your sprouting seeds. I have had them already actually eat my seeds, which is not a good thing. and they're not a friend of your seedlings or your plants. They do a lot of damage to seedlings. They can damage your larger plants by eating the roots off, and that is another thing that you want to watch out for. Now, there have been other pests that, like soil-dwelling insects that have eaten seeds already. If you're starting your stuff outside, mice can eat your seeds, chipmunks, squirrels, that kind of thing. Some birds will eat the seeds if they pick them like out of the ground. So, another thing is some seeds need what they call a cold stratification. Lavender seeds and a lot of your perennial seeds need a cold stratification process to trigger the seed to germinate. And like lavender seeds, I take my seeds and I put them in a Ziploc bag for 2 weeks at least and give them a chill down, and then I go ahead and plant them. Now, some seeds need certain temperatures to germinate, and if it gets too cold, your seeds won't germinate. I know, like the Roselle Red hibiscus, that needs like 80 degrees to germinate, so that's, up there pretty good for germination temps. And even your eggplants need a higher germination temperature so that the seeds will germinate for you. Most of the time when your eggplant seeds aren't germinating, it's because they're not getting the temperature that they need to germinate. So some seeds, what actually happens with those is they get too warm and they won't germinate because the temperature is too warm for them. So that's something else that you want to keep in mind when germinating your seeds. I know on a lot of my videos I put like the germination temperatures on there for your seeds to germinate, and I try and keep them at that germination temperature range so that my seeds germinate for me. Now, some seeds will germinate at different times. Like, some will start coming up in 7 days, and it might take others like 14 days to come up or longer. It's weird sometimes how they go, but I don't normally give up on seeds coming up. I give them extra time to come up because sometimes, they might just be sitting there dormant, and then all of a sudden they'll sprout on you. I have some eggplant seeds that just did that for me, and they were past their germination time, and I was just kind of, I wasn't ready to give up on them, and they germinated for me. So this here is a flat of tomato seeds here, and you can see most of these came up, but there's a few that just didn't come up yet, and I wait to see if they're going to come up. Pepper seeds are like that. Some will come up real fast, and then others, they just kind of take their time germinating. So you want to, when you're growing your seeds, I give them a little extra time to germinate, especially if the soil dried out at any point, because it could have delayed that seed from sprouting, and then it kind of starts all over again, from what I've seen. Now, some seeds have what you call an irregular germination rate, and I found that with my lemongrass here. This has a very irregular germination rate. Some seeds will come up very quickly. Others, they'll just kind of take their time coming up and germinating. So keeping your seed starting mix moist while your seeds are germinating is very important, especially for surface sown seeds. Just take your spray bottle every day, go ahead and mist across the top of them, keep them nice and moist, and watch for them to continue germinating for you. Now, some seeds, like lavender, they have a very low germination rate to begin with, and rosemary is the same way. They have a lower germination rate for lavender and rosemary seeds. The seeds don't last very long. So when you plant those, you always want to plant more than what you need. So hopefully you get enough for what you want. Now, some seeds do not last very long, like your onion seeds. They have a tendency to not have a very long shelf life. So what I do with my onion seeds is I take my seeds, I put them in a Ziploc bag, go ahead and put them in the refrigerator, and when I'm ready to plant my stuff, I just take them out and I plant them up. And I found that I have saved a lot of money by doing that because my seeds are staying fresh longer. Impatiens are the same way. They have a very short shelf life for the seeds. And I just find that by putting them in the Ziploc bags and storing them in the refrigerator, it makes my seeds last a whole lot longer than what they normally would. So if you don't want to store your seeds in the refrigerator, what you can do is you can put them in, you want to put them in a container, a shoebox will work, and put them in a cool, dark, dry closet. So that's another option for you if you want to store your seeds a different way. And here's some of my cold seasoned vegetables here. Now, some seeds have what's called a germination inhibitor on them, and parsley seeds are one that has that. So what you want to do when you're sowing your parsley seeds, or any seed that has a germination inhibitor on it, is you want to take your seeds, soak them in water for about 48 hours, and you want to change the water about 2 times while you're soaking them. And just get rid of the water that you're soaking the seeds in. You don't want to take that water and use it to water your soil when you plant your seeds, because that germination inhibitor will go right into your soil, and then your seeds won't germinate. Or it will take them actually longer to germinate. So I hope this video helps you to know why your seeds may not be germinating. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button that tells I put a new video on. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'll have a link down in the description for my Twitter account. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye!